Hey there, classic TV fans. Welcome back to the channel. This is pop culture historian Dave Sundstrom, and today we are diving deep into a Bat Vault of Secrets. Yep, I'm talking about the strange case of the missing Batgirl costume. Here's what we know. After the classic Batman TV series called it quits in 1968, actress Yvonne Craig inquired about perhaps taking one of her suits with her as a memento of her time fighting crime by Batman and Robin's side. However, all she heard from the folks at 20th Century Fox was crickets. Ultimately, Yvonne forgot about the request and moved on to other things. I remember seeing her on shows like The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, It Takes a Thief, The Mod Squad, and of course, Star Trek. Yep, who can forget Yvonne as an Orion slave girl in the Season 3 episode, Whom Gods Destroy. So let's fast forward to 1972, and Yvonne is asked if she might be interested in returning to the role of Batgirl one more time for a public service announcement about the Federal Equal Pay Act, which was a law that was passed back then to ensure that men and women were paid the same amount of money for doing the same job. What? You haven't seen that PSA? Well, here you go.
A ticking bomb means trouble for Batman and Robin.
Holy, breaking and entering! It's Batgirl!
Quick, Batgirl. Untie us before it's too late.
It's already too late. I've worked for you a long time, and I'm paid less than Robin. Same job, same employer means equal pay for men and women.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
It's no joke. It's the Federal Equal Pay Law.
Holy act of Congress!
If you're not getting equal pay, contact the Wage and Hour Division, U.S. Department of Labor.
You know, the irony of that PSA is that during the third season of Batman, when Yvonne was brought on board, she was paid substantially more than Burt Ward. Burt's always seemed like an amiable feller, but heck, you never know. Something like that could cause someone to act out in the oddest of ways. More on that in a moment, but first, back to Yvonne being asked to be Batgirl one more time for this PSA. So she agreed to do it on one condition. Somehow, some way, they would need to acquire one of her original costumes if they truly wanted her to fly into action again. And at first, that kind of seemed to be a deal breaker. Yvonne was told that there wasn't a Batgirl suit intact. And that, at least from Yvonne's point of view, kind of put an end to the whole thing. But then, from out of the blue, Yvonne was told that an original costume had been found, and that it was in the possession of the boy wonder himself, Mr. Burt Ward. Well, Burt actually said that it belonged to a friend, but that he would be able to get it if Yvonne agreed to join him and actor Dick Gautier, who was standing in for Adam West for the commercial. And after filming was complete, Yvonne had hoped to take the costume home with her, but Burt was insistent that it needed to be returned to his friend. Whenever Yvonne told this story later on at conventions and the like, she would always use quotation marks when saying the word friend. Why? I believe that she was somewhat skeptical about the whole thing. She even went as far as to say that Burt told her that he bought the costume, but this revelation only came to light after everyone at Fox who could have validated his story was gone. Truthfully, I don't know what to think. From everything that I can tell, Burt is a wonderful feller. A real stand-up guy who was loyal to his friend Adam until the very end. That said, could acquiring the only intact Batgirl costume after the show ended be Burt's way of protesting the inequality of pay that he had been subjected to during Batman's final season? If it was, I can't say that I blame him much. And boy, oh boy, if he still has that costume, it has got to be worth a pretty penny now. Holy wise investments, Robin! You did it, old chum. Way to play the long game. So how do you think Burt really ended up with that costume? Let me know in the comments section, and while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. I talk about music, movies, and mostly TV from decades gone by. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Robin, you're alone. Where's Batman?
Batman, he couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he's got his hands full out chasing Catwoman. Apparently, Catwoman is loose, and Batman is in hot pursuit of her.
Hey, Robin, how did you meet Batman?
As a As a child, I was orphaned, and Batman was kind enough to adopt me and make me his young ward. And of course, his whole life is divided to crime fighting, and I was brought up to fight heinous villains wherever they rear their ugly heads.
Don't you have any time to go out on any dates?
I have been asked out on a few dates I won't mind mentioning, but unfortunately Batman makes me do a lot of studying, and tonight I'm out chasing heinous villains, so I haven't had a chance yet, but I'm looking for my very first date.
Do you have any advice for the Metropolitan Police in their battle with crime?
With those villains, it's not easy. We use our bat computers and our other crime-fighting devices, and we have to go out and stalk them in the streets where they rear their ugly heads.